Hey, mighty peeps. How are you doing? I wanted to let you know, first of all, we're finally done with all the pies and we're ready to move on. And honestly, I'm hoping somebody send me some Christmas cookies because it's that time now. We got a new month, got a new Thursday, and let's talk some Thursday tips and some mighty marketing tips. I thought I'd try something different about answering your marketing questions. I mean, answering your marketing questions is what I try to do all of the time via email and our chats here in the Mighty Marketing Mojo. But this is a little more specific. Over here on my other screen, I actually have open a spreadsheet. So here's tip number one. When I ask folks if they'd like to join the Mighty Marketing Mojo Facebook group, I follow some tips and advice on setting things up in a private group, and I ask questions. So I ask folks where they are in their business stage. Are they actually a solopreneur? Are they starting off? Do they have their own business, or are they just thinking about a business? I ask for their email address in case they haven't already joined my list, and I will send them a free gift, add them on. Here's a free gift for you just for being part of the Mighty Marketing Mojo community. The key thing is the second question. I ask them what's troubling them. What's your marketing concern? What's a marketing obstacle that you're working on? Because it gets them thinking, and it gives me, honestly, endless content because it's here in the spreadsheet. And then I try to work my Facebook Lives, my videos, my emails, my blog posts, and everything like that around answering your questions, the questions that you've sent me and asked me. But I've actually decided maybe I'm going to do this, and I do the member polls and we do training at least once a month or once every few months, specifically just for you who are in my Facebook group based on the topics that you have asked me for. But I actually opened up my spreadsheet and I'm looking to see for a couple of questions that people have asked me specifically, and then I may even tag folks down here, which actually gets to one of the questions that was asked, which was, how do I engage with my target audience on social media? So, Kelly, you'd asked, and one of the ways that we do that is first knowing where our target audience is online. Tons of resources on who's using what social platforms. I use Statista. I use the Pew Internet Research data, plus all of the major social media scheduling tools run all of their own data on this, and every major social tool tells you who's using it. But sometimes it's digging a little more deeper than that, and it's not just our millennials on a particular tool. It's not just our women 25 to 49 are on a particular tool. It's also, where do they want to engage with us? Where do they ask questions and have conversations, and where are they looking to brands for help? So, for example, that may not be Snapchat. Snapchat is you and your friends. It may or may not even be TikTok. Some brands are having great success on TikTok, but maybe they're only having success because it's about entertaining. It's one reason why I have a Facebook page and I have a Facebook group, because my peeps are here. But it's also where, honestly, in 2021, I need to make a renewed focus on LinkedIn. If I'm mostly talking to other small business owners, consultants, business coaches, writers, editors, then chances are they're over there on LinkedIn, and I need to have a presence there. And it's going to look a little bit different than my presence here. Into the engaging part, that's been something that I've had to work on as I've gone out and gone through being online in business for years. Because honestly, what's engaging changes. Social media changes. But we know some general best practices. Let's see if we can don't do that again. Asking questions. That it's a mix of content, that you cannot just promote. And that even your promotions are mixed in with giving value. That we know from social media things that, honestly, if it, there's a reason polarizing content on social media, there's so much in the news. Why? Because it's polarizing, which means people react to it. If people react to it, the algorithms are designed to show you more of that. Use that part of the technology to your advantage, which is why, yeah, we sometimes sprinkle in the memes. Honestly, I was working with somebody else whose social media is their thing, their lane totally. GIFs. animations, a cartoon, a meme, once a week, once every, you change up what days you're going to do that on it. Because if somebody engages with that and they laugh or they click a like or they leave a comment, then it means they're then more likely to see your next post. And your next post is maybe it's a picture of you sharing something more personal from your business, from your life, and you're relating it to how your business works. If you're a vegan coach, like you coach other people how to live a vegan lifestyle, then showing the bounty of whatever it is you grew in your own yard this year and talking about how you learned to make simple meals with it, that's both on topic for you and it's a personal insight into you and your business. We're solopreneurs and we are our businesses in most instances. We're the face, and people connect human to human before they connect business to business or business to consumer. So, for example, over in Mighty Marketing Mojo, if I share a picture of my desk, it gets more posts. If I share a picture, for example, of the pies, yes, pies plural, there were 2 of us and we had 5 pies, over Thanksgiving, and then start a discussion about that, and yes, there was a metaphor for marketing in there with the pies, that gets more engagement, which means more people get seen it, which means more people get talking about it, which means you're more likely to then see other things. So, in terms of being engaging on social media, it's a lot like being engaging at a real party. You don't want to stand up and just do nonstop jokes the whole time and try to be the cut up of the life of the party because eventually that gets tired. You are not the person who is standing there in the corner talking nothing about nonstop yourself and your latest job and your house and your clothes, and you are boring as hell, and nobody wants that either. So, the pie analogy that I alluded to in my email and that I had started talking about in the Facebook group was came to me, there's 2 of us and we had 5 pies. Why? Because we couldn't agree, because we all like different things. And I said, oh, it's my husband and I. And I don't eat pumpkin. So the little itty bitty pumpkin, which made it 5.25 pies, was for him. We both like apples. So there were apple variations that we both liked. He's way more into other fruits and the dark fruits and cherries and blueberries and plums and blackberries and whatever. So there's a pie like that for him. I'm like, I want something else. And we read down the list of the farm stand near us. And we tried to find another pie that we both thought, well, that looks interesting. And it was lemon sponge. So there was a variety to fit the variety of our needs and wants, and with the understanding that we weren't going to eat all of the pies. We didn't, except the maple apple. Maple apple was a complete winner. We both ate all of that. You're going to have content that's like that. You're going to have content, be it a video, an audio, it's a blog post, it's an email. Some of it, everybody in your community is like, oh, that's nice. That would be like your generic average apple pie. Okay, that's nice. Some people in your audience are going to be pumpkin fans, and 80% of the rest of the people are going to be like, I am not touching pumpkin pie. Or they're going to be like, no, I want sweet potato pie. I want Patti LaBelle's sweet potato pie. So you talk to those people, and you're like, that's okay. I am talking only over here to my pumpkin and my sweet potato pie fans. I will get back to you other folks later. Don't worry. Then you got the mixed berry pies for the other people. This ties into a question that was asked by Angela about how to increase automation. The tie-in there is that the best step in automating anything when we are solopreneurs, and especially if we're getting started, email automation. Having tagging and segments and automations in your email and the ability to automatically send out the emails that are just to the people on your list that like pumpkin pie. Fran is a pumpkin pie fan. Good for you. So if I wanted to send content, the type of content in my business, whatever that is, that only appeals to that 25% of the people that really like pumpkin pie, well then I better have the tools set up via ActiveCampaign, via ConvertKit, via one of the email software companies that has really good tagging, so that I can tag that person and I can tag Fran Pumpkin Pie and just send her emails about pumpkin pie. It's so that I can tag you in my email system that says, oh, you're interested in Canva. I send you emails about Canva. Here's the emails that I send about Trello. So that's one of the fastest way. And Not only that, but that actually gets back to the first question, which was about engagement and engaging our audiences. The data is out there and it shows if we send more segmented emails, this is the good kind of segregation, folks, the good kind of segmentation. We are sending people more of what they've asked us for. Our open rates are higher, our clicks are higher, engagement is higher, which then the next time we send out emails, our system learns that more people tend to open. It's the downside that people don't tell you about when you're growing your email list. And I'm seeing it as my list has grown tremendously this past year. That as it gets bigger, your numbers drop off. Excuse me. The numbers of engagement tend to drop off. So one of the ways that we work on fixing that is by actually talking to parts of the room, parts of the of our audience about what they're most interested in hearing about. Because maybe in every given week, you don't want to all hear about every new tool I've explored. Generally, that's why you came to me, so you're all getting the weekly newsletter. But what it means is that and that's my practice, that's me sitting here, I'm going to walk my talk better in 2021 to send emails that are more targeted so that they're more engaging for you. And to do that to the best of my ability and time, as automated potentially as I can be. So those are the questions that we had gotten that were about engagement. And I will tell you, I'm following advice from others. I am not planning that far out in advance because, folks, I just can't think that far in advance right now, right? I'm combination. That's the printout of my Google Calendar that also then talks to Trello and my content library. But what it has here is it has like the days, like when, like I know when Hanukkah's starting, I know when Dewey Decimal Day is, I know when certain other National App Day that's coming up on December 11th. I might also have noted down what days I'm posting in my Facebook page, what days I'm posting in my group, and what days on LinkedIn. But it's not much more specific than that, or it says things like question mark, tip, meme, blog post. So those are things that I'm going to keep in rotation. It's reminding me to give the pie smorgasbord of content to you. One of those is going to be maybe more engaging for you than the others. That's okay. And it's certainly okay that of that recipe that I'm doing, it's not all buy this, buy this, buy this. We're all in groups like that. We all see Facebook pages like that. We all get emails like that, and it gets tired and it gets old. People want to learn from us. You can wrap around your value around your offers. So a little of that also gets to the question that I'm looking at here on the screen that Leona was asking. She feels very overwhelmed and she isn't sure where to start. And the advice that I think I wish I'd followed early on, or I did, but I didn't follow it ideally, was where to start. Start with content. Start with your email list. Start with what's the simplest on-target free gift. What's a solution that you can offer so that you can start building a community to have people to talk to, and so that you can be asking them, what do they need? What do they want? Starting there. And I just came off of a great conversation and a great client session this afternoon, and sharing some of the things that, the mistakes that I'd made along the way, what I'd learned, and reminding us that we need to start simple. That sometimes I can't always tool myself out of something. And I've tried. But that you need to use the tools that let you get out there consistently and not feel overwhelmed. And if that means that your landing page for your free gift right now, because you've got a great idea, you've got the gift, and it's perfect for Christmas. It's a Christmas craft for kids. Well, we don't want to miss that opportunity. So let's get it out there. Let's not worry about the fancy landing page software. We're going to create a page on your website. You need a headline and 2 paragraphs. Headline is what's going to capture somebody's attention about this free gift. The first paragraph is what's the current situation that they're in now that is less than ideal. So if this is about the craft, Lynn, pardon me, I'm using your example. It's about the crafting kit for kids, or it's the Christmas activities kit for kids. And the situation we're in now is that we're going to be having to spend the holidays apart, and you can't spend time with your nieces and your nephews and your grandkids, and you all want to be together. Well, here's a great way to do that. You all send them the same activity kit. You're all going to do it virtually together and share. And that's a paragraph. That's the problem. The solution is that next paragraph. It's a couple of bullet points that says, here's what's inside of the thing. So it's 3 bullet points. It's like you're going to get coloring pages and a puzzle and a quick simple craft, and it's totally free. Just give me your email address and I'll send it to you. That's it. That's it. Go do that. Go do that and get it out there, because getting it out there is so much better than letting it spin in our heads and keeping us from getting to the next step. And then maybe the next time we do this, maybe by the time we do the Valentine's Day special, our landing page looks better and we've learned something and we've got more data and it's a little bit slicker. And maybe by the time that we do something for Mother's Day, maybe we actually are using landing page software and we're over here using Thrive Architect or something else. But once we know, we have our product, we have an offer, we have something to get out there in front of people, and we need to see if it resonates, get it out there. Don't worry about if it's out there perfectly. Just get it out there and don't miss the opportunity to learn. So I think the overwhelming learning where to get started, it's one reason I like that some of our email software tools that are out there now have started adding things like landing pages into their packages. Because some people are like, well, I don't have a website, I'm going to have to build the website, and I'm working all this week and everything's about the website. I'm like, why is it still taking so long to get the website done? The answer is because we tend to want to make the websites perfect. And we tend to polish and polish and polish them, and we think they have to look like somebody else's. I'm like, yeah, but that somebody else had a coder and a developer and a team did it, and it's you, and you're not a coder and you're not a developer. You just need something out there to tell them who you are and how you help them, and then keep working on it. So that's the first part, and if getting started means that you're creating a landing page off of a free WordPress site at first to get started, then you're started. If you're using the landing page that is built into ConvertKit, Aweber now has them, ActiveCampaign has them on some plans, then we use that. But it gets us started. And getting us started means we can learn and we can grow and we can get better over time. I've certainly seen that, where I started and the gifts that I sent out and the emails that I wrote when I was beginning, I'm like, there's some cringe factors there, but we learn and keep learning. But we don't learn if we don't actually go out there and do that. And I'm looking and I'm scrolling down now through the spreadsheet, and getting started is actually one of the most common questions that are asked for me. So I'd love for those who are watching the video live or who watch me here on replay, how did you get started? What was the first thing that you did? Do you have an email list? Are you building, your email list? More importantly, are you sending emails to your email list? Maybe you got started because you built a Facebook page and you started from there, and now you're getting people over onto an email list. But I'd love to know where you got started and where you started to see a difference. Where did the lights start really firing and coming on fully for you? Excuse me. So, and also, yes, and if you want to throw in what your favorite pie is, throw it in there in the chat window as well. This is where I also make a confession and tell you that pie is not my favorite dessert. I like pie. I like some pies more than other pies. And I will take pie versus no dessert at all, I suppose. That I actually, I'm a fudgy brownie kind of person, or even an oatmeal scotchy or a blondie person. Pies are my husband's thing. This has been a rough year, so letting him get all the pies, however much pie that we were or weren't going to eat, but to have a selection of them, hey, that was cool. but now I'm really hoping that there are cookies and brownies in my December future. So just started writing emails consistently. Awesome. And I'm gonna have to go check and find out who that is. But thank you. I'm so glad that you put that in there. I will say that when I first started building in the list, first I built the list, I built it right. I used webinars. That was successful. I got people on the list. Turned out they weren't the right people to be on the list. Great people, not decision makers, not the right part of the audience for that list. Um, but then I wasn't emailing them also all that consistently. I wasn't emailing in between when I was doing the webinars. So whatever you can do for consistency is a great thing. Fran, you're stuck in your emails right now. You and I, yes, I know. I hope we're still fighting with Get Response and with your emails, and we'll have to get you unstuck. But because I know you've had some really great ideas lately about breakthroughs in terms of your message and who you're talking about, and it's really tough. I totally get it. Then that when sending the email, when going in and writing it and sending it isn't technically easy or intuitive, then that completely wipes out the whole consistent part. Was a reason I stayed with AWeber for at least a year or two longer than I probably needed to, because it was easier not to move, because I could just go in, send the email, and I knew what I was doing. And you're not getting a great deal of response, so stop trying to figure things out. I hear that. And I think it's part of it is what's going on right now. Part of it is 2020. Part of it is the time of year that we're in right now, and email boxes tend to be flooded. That and here's I'll pull back, and this is where I've always promised you all no BS in terms of marketing. Um, and they say email, and they say email and email your community, and you're building the community. But to be perfectly blunt, it's not common to get back a lot of replies in terms of emails. I'm actually taking a course right now on email to get better at that and to write better emails that might get more replies, because I know it can happen, but it's not necessarily as common as, say, getting a like or a reaction or something on social media where it's easier. And I think that's one of the toughest things that we have to do, is to continue to push forward, is that even when I don't hear something back from somebody, even when there aren't a lot of clicks, I keep writing emails. And there was a conversation that I had with somebody who did reply recently that really helped. And it was a reminder that she's like, look, life is busy. Life is really busy right now. I'm running my business. I'm helping my clients. I'm trying to build my products. I am also the teacher and the homework proctor and meal prep and everything being cleaned and wiped down and all of those other things. So I don't always, I love your emails, but I don't always read them when they first come. I sometimes sit down and batch read a couple of weeks of emails. She's like, and that means I might miss some of the sales or the time sensitive things that you send out, but the rest of the tips are great, which is a reminder to us to keep writing, because, and I've even seen that in my own statistics. I saw that recently. Somebody went through and all of the clicks and the opens that Active Campaign was showing me were from months ago. Somebody had been saving all of my emails and had only just now started reading like the whole summer's worth of emails. I don't know that that's the norm, but it happens. And we have to assume that when we send something out, and it's why the advice that was drummed into me, from my coaches was, if you're promoting something, you've got a sale on something, you have a webinar, you have something that you're excited about, don't just send one email. The odds of somebody seeing just the one email that you send are not great. You better remind them multiple times. Also, because those of us who are in business and online and who buy things from coaches and online business owners, we've all been trained to know that there's going to be a reminder email before the cart closes. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm pretty sure Kohl's has emailed me 3 times today. The sale hasn't changed. It might even be the same email. Staples emails me 2 times a day. Chances are I'm deleting both of the emails, but they've trained me to know that I'm going to get another email before the sale ends. some of that carries over into the emails we get. So excellent. I'm just it's a miracle back from people I really want to consume. I love that. There are emails that for people who I know give a really good mix of tips and help in addition to whatever they might be promoting, and I do save them. And I will go back and I'll reread them, or I'll read them, again later. So absolutely. Being aware of that and knowing that's happening tempers a little bit of our expectations. All the more reason though why we have to continue to try and be as consistent as we possibly can to keep emailing, because you're not sure which one of those messages is going to be the one that hits the right person at the right moment. Before I wrap things up, back in the day when I was an ad executive in New York, and most of advertising, I say back then, and yet 20 something years now seems like it was a really long time ago. Oh, once more than 20 years, 25. Broadcast. It was TV, it was radio, it was print. And we had the stats that basically said it was talking about frequency and reach. It's like, why did you see car commercials so many times? Why did you see that ad for that toy? Why did you see that ad for the washing machine? That was frequency. And the data was basically showing how many times somebody needed to have seen an ad before they made a decision, or physically before they even paid attention to it. It's the same reason why we can't assume that somebody sees our emails or our social media posts. But it was also about the point at seeing the message at the point in time of need. That somebody sees the car commercial and it's Sunday and they don't really pay attention to it. I'm not in the market for a car. And they see it on Monday, and well, you know what? The car was acting a little funny. It was slow to start up, and it's grinding its gears a little bit on Monday. You're like, So now all of a sudden, every car commercial perks their brains just a little bit more. By 2 weeks from that Monday, the car is starting to even give them fits. They've taken it to the mechanic once. The mechanic hasn't quite pinpointed the exact issue, but they're pretty sure it's going to be something like, in the alternator, and we're not just talking belts here. We're talking a couple of grand in repairs, and now everything in your brain is about cars. And now every used car ad is going to start paying attention. Every new car ad is going to start lighting up your brain. You didn't need it before. And the car company doesn't know exactly when you're going to need it, but they know it's going to happen at some point. That enough of that people with enough wide enough reach that when they see that ad, it's going to remind them and stick in their brain, because they're going to actually go out and start searching. Our people who need our products, our coaching, our services, your meal planning, your parenting coaching, your mom helps. I can't assume that this Monday is the Monday when they're going to be like, I do need that. I do need that help, and I am now actively searching. Which is why we keep emailing and we keep chatting, we keep being out there consistently, and we're consistent on social media, on the platforms that make sense for us. That's why I'm not on Instagram, but I am on Facebook, and I will be more on LinkedIn. And I swear I'm learning 2021 now is the year for Pinterest. So those are just a couple of the questions that I've gotten in. If you have other questions, drop them either on this video or drop them in the Mighty Marketing Mojo Facebook group, or send them to me so that I can potentially answer them or talk to them in a future video or a future email or a future social media post. If you are not already collecting the questions that you see coming from your ideal peeps and your ideal audience, start today. Doesn't matter how you do it. You could do it in an Excel sheet. This is actually a Google sheet that I have open so that I have it wherever. It could be a Word document. It could be the questions that people message to you. It could be what are the questionings you're seeing in the other groups that you're in? What are the questions that you're seeing in other forums? That keep those questions, because those questions become content for you and you giving value back to your audience. Oh, hey, that's a good one. Thank you, Erica, for showing that. Exactly. I don't know when they're going to be ready to hear it. And it's a reminder for me to keep talking about the certain things that I do and the things that I can help with, and that we have new people coming in around us. So they didn't hear it when we talked about something 6 months ago. And this was a great tip that I got from Nicole Dean at Coach Glue and Nicole on the Net, that even if it's the same people that you're talking to in your community and your audience, where they were in their life and their business 6 months ago is different from where they are now. Even if it's the exact same message and maybe you've tweaked the headline, maybe it's a video instead of a blog post now that you're sending out. Their brain, their situation, their world, their life is in a different place than it was 6 months ago. And they may now be in a better place to hear that, to see that promotion, to see that offer. They may be more ready for it now. They may be more ready to share it. They may be more ready to partner with you. They may be like, oh, you know what? I don't need this, but I know somebody else who does. So it was one of those things I think I've known intuitively, and I was trained on it and taught on it for 25 years. And sometimes it just helps when somebody else smart says it. You're like, well, of course. Nicole's been in business really successfully for a long time. She knows this. She's seen it. And it's one of the reasons why she isn't reinventing the wheel in her own business, because she knows she can use those same pieces of content, those same emails, the same structure, and send it again, because we're not exactly sure when somebody's going to be in the right place to hear what we're sending. And that's one of the big reasons why we have to be consistent in whatever consistent means for us, whatever, however it means it. If that's an email once a week, great. If that's a blog post once a month, be consistent in the best way you can be. So keep tuned for emails and stuff from me, because I have a cool challenge that's going to hopefully get us kickstarted for 2021 and being consistent and simplifying things. I'm still working out the dates and how that's going to look, but it's going to be 2021 content planning with an emphasis on Q1 and using Trello to help get our content and our planning organized. We'll do it as a challenge format in January. If you have gotten Trello training from me in the past, if you're a Trello fan like I am, then there's also going to be a call coming up in 2 weeks in December. And I'm also always looking for other tools that can help us to be consistent, to get in front, and to be engaged with our audiences. So thank you guys for being here with me on another Thursday Tips at Mighty Marketing Mojo. Drop in your questions for another future video, and hopefully get a chance to answer them for you. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.